Hello everyone and welcome to ovesen.net. In this video I'm gonna take a look at this sad looking Amiga 500 that I got for cheap. I don't know if the machine is working. I didn't test it yet, and as you can see it's extremely yellowed, especially the keys. An inspection of the underside reveals there's a hole. All the rubber feet are missing. Only one screw cover is missing. Let me see if there's memory expansion. Yeah, there actually is. Oh, look at this. Looks a bit corroded. Is it a battery leakage? Oh, it's very stuck. Damn. All right, yeah, it's a battery leak. So this one has to go and I'll try to clean up. Fortunately, the chips are socketed, so it's possible to salvage those anyway. And it seems like nothing has spread or leaked inside the Amiga itself, so that's really good. So this is my Amiga number 4, Amiga 500, and as you know, I like to fix these up and make them into workable machines, so that's what I'm gonna do with this too. Inside looks a bit messy, has a lot of dirt, and the metal is almost black, so it has sustained some oxidation. Anyway, first thing first, let me test if this machine is working. So, turning it on. Alright, yeah, it actually do work. So the floppy drive is ticking as usual, and I'm trying to load the workbench disk now. Nope, didn't load. I'm trying another copy. Let me see if that works better. Well, it sort of loads, has a bit of problems. Yeah, it seems to be loading. Or not so long. Read-write error. Alright, let me just dive right into it and disassemble this machine. It seems that it doesn't have any screws on the inside either, so yeah. I actually ordered a set of screws for this machine, so hopefully I get it by the time this video is done. Removing the floppy drive is quite easy, just a couple of screws on the back side. And then the motherboard. Motherboard looks quite nice. I'm not sure what revision this is. It says Fab 312 512, ASCII 312 510. I think maybe this is revision 3. Then I'm gonna remove the shield from the motherboard by unscrewing all these nuts on the back side. Alright, that's it. The motherboard should be free. Alright, time for some cleaning of the plastic covers. For cleaning the plastic I use this window cleaning stuff here, and it takes away the fat and shit. So I leave that stuff to work a couple of minutes before I rinse it off and wash it in soap water. While the plastic parts are soaked in hot water, I'm gonna take a look at this RF shield, and as you can see it has some corrosion or rust. So I could use some acid stuff like vinegar on this, but I'm gonna use something stronger. I'm gonna use this, which is caustic soda or sodium hydroxide. However, that's just a technical name for lye. Alright, then I just put the metal parts inside this bath. Now I'm gonna leave it here for half an hour or something like that, I don't know. I had the metal in lye for around half an hour, and I washed and dried it. Now it's much better. The rust stains are gone, it's now black instead. So. Okay, keyboard next, and as you can see it's quite dirty and extremely yellowed, so hopefully I can make it look better. So I'm gonna remove the keycaps, and I use this handy little tool, this keycap remover, or what you call it. I bought it from China for $1. Okay, that was all the keycaps, and look at this shit. Ooh. So this is going in the vacuum cleaner, and then some serious scrubbing with alcohol. So I just have the keycaps in some soapy warm water for yeah, half an hour or something. Ah, that's much better. Now I can clean this with some alcohol. This will kill all the bacteria, and also I can brush it even more clean. So the keyboard cleaned up quite nicely. However, I noticed something inside this hole here, and it is corrosion and dirt, and looks like rust. So so I think I have to open up Alright, that was like 30 screws, and now I can just lift off the back plate. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of dirt on the membrane, and I even think I saw an insect here. Yeah, this one looks like some kind of insect. However, the corrosion I saw is just concentrated on this one point here, so it should be easy to clean up. I just spray a little bit of alcohol on a paper towel, and then I gently rub off the dirt. For the rust stains I use this WD-40, just a little amount on some paper, and then I just rub it on the stains. Putting the keyboard back together again. So the keycaps I cleaned in soapy water, and I rubbed off each of the 5 sides, and they're all good, ready to be retrobrighted. As you can see, this is a very yellowed plastic compared to the backside, so it'll be fun to compare before and after. To remove the yellowing, I use vacuum bags, my usual method for retrobrighting, and of course I use hydrogen peroxide as well. I use this hairdresser bleach cream, which is 12% hydrogen peroxide. Then I suck out the air with this vacuum machine. And the bag is now sealed and airtight. Then you need to apply some heat, and this time I'm using my oven. And I set it to 50 degrees. You should stay between 50 and 60 degrees Celsius. In addition, I'm using my homemade UV lamp, which I made from UV LED strips. And I printed a frame for it on my 3D printer. UV light is said to have a positive effect on retrobrighting and remove the yellowing, at least to make it go quicker. I'm not really sure if that is the case. I had success without using light, but anyway, I made this just to check it out. Now I leave this in the oven for at least 3 hours, and I turn around the bags every 15 minutes or so to get an even result. The floppy drive is a Matsushita made in Japan, and it needs some attention. It didn't work properly, so I'm gonna clean it properly now. The drive is a little bit dirty inside. I'm gonna clean it as much as I can. Then some alcohol. Okay, it looks good. I removed all the dust. Now I'm gonna clean the drive heads. I'd use a cotton swab with some alcohol and rub it gently over the drive heads, top and bottom. Finally, I use a little bit of silicone grease just to lubricate the drive axle from the stepper motor a little bit, and also the drive rail on the other side. The cover has some corrosion rust stains, so I'm gonna put it in vinegar just to stop the rust. Now this 512 kilobyte of memory expansion card for the Amiga, as you can see, it has severe battery leakage. So I'm gonna remove the battery right away, and then I'll see if I can clean up the corrosion and the damage from the battery acid. Luckily the damage has not spread onto the memory chips, however it has spread all the way over to these chips here. In order to clean up this mess, I'm gonna remove the chips. Oh my god, look at this. First I just clean the whole board with some alcohol and rub it with my brush, just to remove all the dirt. Then I'm gonna rinse it off with some hot water and then put it in a bath of lye for a little while. So I soaked it in lye, which is very corrosive. However, it will neutralize the acid from the battery. Alright, the keys are done. They've been in the oven for some hours. So I'm just gonna clean them up. I have cleaned off the cream and laid the keycaps out to dry, and here's a comparison from before I did the retrobrighting, and as you can see the result is much better now. Alright, I took the memory expansion board out of the lye. It's been lying there for about 10 minutes, and as you can see it's a remarkable improvement. All the green stuff is gone. I have to test it when I assemble the machine, and if it's working then I'm gonna buy a new battery for it. Alright, everything about this keyboard has been cleaned now properly, and I'm ready to assemble it, so let me go ahead to do that. So this is the fun and satisfying part, to put all the keycaps in place. Alright, I put every keycap back, but I have one spring left, so I must have forgotten one of those keycaps to put the spring underneath. Nope, every key springs back just fine, so no spring is missing. However, maybe this is a case of double springs in one of the keys. So, okay, then I have a spare. The case cleaned up nicely, but it is a bit yellowed. However, I'm not gonna do retrobrighting on this case now. I'm gonna wait until the sun is back. It's now in the middle of the winter, and I live above the polar circle, so or the Arctic Circle as it's called. So not much sun here now, but a couple of months we have sun and even midnight sun later, so I'm gonna wait until the sun can do its magic. Still, there is a couple of things I want to fix. One thing is this hole. I want to fill that with some epoxy glue or something. Second, it's missing the expansion port door. I already printed one on my 3D printer. It's not the same color. I don't have any colors that match this one. I might paint it later, but it fits nicely. Not perfect, but good enough. Keeps the dust out. So the hole, how am I gonna fix that? I need to make some sort of mold or something put behind so that I can fill the hole with epoxy, but very thin. So I have this tack it, which is the same as blue tack, except it's not blue, it's white. It's for hanging up posters and things. So I think I'm gonna push that in from the behind. I just push it flat against the flat surface first, so I cover the whole hole. Then I'm gonna mix a little amount of this strong epoxy glue. It's a 2-component glue that should do the trick. Okay, I think that's enough. Now the hard part is to get it inside the hole and get it flat. Maybe it will float out by itself. Hopefully it will do that. Yeah, I think that's okay. Then just wait until it hardens. I already got new rubber feet for the machine from Polyplay, which is a German website with different stuff for retro computers. So when this is hardened, I will reinforce it by adding some additional epoxy glue on the back side. Alrighty, the case is finished. Now I'm gonna concentrate on the motherboard, and I already blown off all the dust with compressed air, and I cleaned most of the board with isopropanol alcohol. The board is clean and I can't see anything else on this No damages and no corrosion, as I can see. So the next step is to recap this board. And there's 17 capacitors, and I bought this kit here, which contains the necessary capacitors. The sound you hear is me powering on the desoldering station. So why do we replace the capacitors on the old machines? Well, it's because over time the capacitors can start to leak current because they dry in, and when they leak current, the resistance is changed, and that can have damaging consequences for the electronics. So I'm only replacing the electrolytic capacitors. The other types, ceramic capacitors, they usually hold longer, so no need to replace those. Obviously, it's important to notice the polarity of the capacitors, which is minus and which is plus, and put the new ones in the same direction, of course. A little bit of flux, always good. Last capacitor goes in. Hopefully I get all correct values and all the right polarity. So that's it. Replaced all the capacitors. New capacitors make this motherboard happy, and it will last longer perhaps. So now I'm just gonna test that the motherboard starts, and then I'm gonna assemble the machine. I hooked it up to my TV, and let's turn it on. Okay, still works. Fantastic. The repair I did on this hole seems to be okay. It's very hard epoxy. And now I can fit this rubber feet I found on the internet. They were all missing, so that's better. Brand new feet. Excellent. Then all these nuts and screws. Adding the memory expansion card, which I removed the battery and cleaned up. Hopefully it still works, however the clock will not work, of course. almost all were missing, so that's good. Time to test. I'm curious about the floppy drive, even if I cleaned it up. I'm really curious if it still is working. So I have this error validating disk messages, however it did boot from the workbench disk, so I mean maybe it's not perfect, but it might be the disk as well, I don't know. And the memory expansion, it does not work. The machine only finds 392K free memory. So this disk seems to be working better. It's another workbench disk I had lying around. But it keeps giving me this key 888 checksum error. I added my Gotek as an external floppy here, and I'm trying to run something from that. Okay, I'm booting from the Gotek drive now, and it's supposed to be loading Defender of the Crown. Okay, that seems to be working fine, and the sound works, so excellent. Mouse is working too. So now I'm gonna run a few tests with the Amiga test kit. So memory test. Memory test seems to be working just fine, so nothing's wrong with the internal memory at least. Timer tests all passed. Those of you who don't know this, the Gotek is a floppy emulator that works with a lot of machines, including the Amiga, and it works by using a USB memory stick where you add different floppy disk images, and then you select what image you're going to use by pressing this button. You can also add the file selector program as an image, and yeah, you can use this to select what images you want to use. So now I'm setting up Turrican 2 disk 1 and 2 as DF1 and DF2, and then just press F7 to boot from that floppy image. Okay, that's it for this video. The machine is working just fine. The floppy drive is a bit troublesome. I'm gonna take a look at it later. Perhaps it can be adjusted. Anyway, I have the Gotek drive I can use. Yeah, with that I say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe if you want to see more of these kinds of videos. Thank you.